Hey, what up, everybody? This is steviebreech coming to you here today. I'm stuck here on Watt Avenue in bumper-to-bumper traffic. No better time to talk about the 49ers versus the Dolphins. I'll tell you the truth. I guess this game is coming up on Sunday. I don't know what to say. Last week, after losing to the Rams, I was almost all in. I think I was as close to all in as you can be. And they lost that game. And it took the love of football out of me. 49ers have been a good team for a long time. We've definitely, in the last decade, debatably, we don't have any Super Bowls to show it. But we've had two really good runs. We've got the Shanahan era. We had the Harbaugh era. Ain't nobody feeling bad for us for falling down. I bet there's more people out there glad that the Niners are losing. There was a lot of people who thought that the team that we assembled was too good going into this year. I think that some people out there believed the hype and really thought that we were gonna do it, and I was one of them. I don't know, man. I listened to the morning game at work, and after I clocked out, I watched no football. I didn't watch the afternoon game. I didn't watch the Sunday night game. I guess there was 2 games on Monday. I didn't watch those. We watched Elf. We watched A Christmas Story. And we had a damn good time. Last night, we didn't even watch a Christmas movie. We watched the end of The Summit. We were a few days behind, but we checked that out. When it comes to this Niner game, I'll tell you the truth. The Dolphins have been a struggling franchise. The biggest problem with Mike McDonald there are, yeah, that's right. I'm pretty sure. Now I'm psyched out that I'm saying his name wrong. But the biggest problem the Dolphins have had during his era as the Miami coach is it doesn't really seem like Miami beats teams with winning records. Miami's never been a team that goes and wins games in the cold weather. I mean, maybe during the Dan Marino era, they were going up and stealing games in New York, but man, since the time that I've really been watching football, Miami, you go north, Buffalo, New Jersey era, Green Bay, anywhere outside in the cold, just write the L down because they're taking it. I don't know. I really want the Niners to win this game because it never really happens. Normally, guys get fired. They find other jobs. They don't really go back home. They don't really it didn't really work out the way that I wanted it to. So I'm gonna go back and do what I was good at. I think Belichick was able to get 2 guys to go back. He got the guy who went to Detroit and was their coach. He came back and he was the coordinator again. Maybe Charlie Wise did too, after the Notre Dame debacle. Not 100% sure, but I think he got his guys to come back. But it never really happens. Normally, once you leave the coaching tree, you don't go running back and ask for your job back because you left and it didn't work out. Normally, you just try to find your way where you can get back to where you were as a head coach. But 49ers, I think one of our biggest problems is that we need an offensive coordinator to take things off of Shanahan's hands to where he can be a complete and total head coach and not be having to worry about, 5 different things as well as calling the plays there. For what happened last week, when basically we had a guy not want to go back and play. Part of me understands, but I think that guy had to have known that when he signed here, he was filling in for an injured player. The guy got injured during the Super Bowl. He was a big part of them pushing to the Super Bowl. And it was well known that once he recovered, he was going to play. How they went to the third quarter without him going into the game is a little surprising. Maybe they had asked him a couple times, and maybe just in the third quarter is when he finally laid down that he was quitting and he didn't want to play for the 49ers anymore because he was no longer a starter because an injured player that he was replacing came back. Bad look. I mean, honestly, a bad look. That guy was a pro in the league. He played with Green Bay for a long time. Maybe he's at the end of his career. But, I mean, there was a lot of talk before the Niners suspended him, and the talk was that we were just going to cut him, that he would get picked up by a playoff team and have a chance. So people think that he's still got skills. And maybe somebody would take that chance. And maybe people believe that there's a cancer inside the 49ers locker room that they would take his side on a story. But bad look. Probably going to be remembered about for the rest of his career for quitting on his team in football. That's a real bad look. I don't know. I wouldn't do that to anybody that I work with on any team that I've ever been on. And to be on a football team where you've got 50-plus guys out there and you've got guys on the practice squad. I mean, you're a team of like 60 to 70 guys who want to go to war, fighting for every play, fighting for their position, and just trying for a team goal of getting a win. That's a bad look. I don't know. The story came out about Le'Veon Bell. I think that's who it was, quitting on the Steelers. They cut him, and then he ended up going to New England and not really reviving his career. He didn't really get that second wind. But I remember when he went to New England, it was a story like, oh, here the Patriots are doing what they do. As bad as the Dolphins have been, I'm hoping for a 49er win. I honestly am going to pick the Dolphins to win because the 49ers are a team with a losing record, and the Dolphins generally beat teams with losing records. Last week with the Dolphins, Tua, a lot of talk on the Dan Le Batard show when I listened to that show about Tua. Like, even when he throws an interception, everybody who's a Dolphins fan grits their teeth in like suspense that they're just hoping Tua doesn't go out there and try to play defense. They love him. They think he's a really good quarterback. He's got skills, but they know that his brain has just been stirred up inside of that noggin, and they don't really know when the next hit is going to be his last hit, and they're just dying. And he threw some balls. He hit Tyreek Hill in the hands a couple times. Tyreek Hill hasn't had the biggest season. Probably the biggest news was the whole thing with the police. And that scene has really just gotten bad. I'm not going to say that Tyreek Hill is washed and done, but I think he's just wanting to get to the end of the season to just start fresh next year. And hopefully, they can reconnect with that team. The Dolphins, when they work. That's a team that can go out there with that offense and put up, 40 easily. I would take the over on almost any Dolphin game. And sometimes they just lighted up a stinker and they got nothing. I'm not really hyped about this game. I know I'll be working during a portion of it, and I'll be home. This doesn't need to be the game of the week. It doesn't really need to be a game that really isn't televised outside of the Northern California, Southern Florida era. I don't think anybody's going to be searching out this game to be seeing what's going on. But I can tell you one thing. Brock Purdy, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, those guys, they aren't quitting. If they can play, they're going out there and they're going to give us the best they can. There's a lot of guys on that team fighting for their next job, fighting for, whether if it's going to be with the Niners or if they're going somewhere else to play. A lot of guys on that field are fighting for their next paycheck and how big it's going to be. So I'm not expecting the Niners just to roll over and die. I mean, I don't understand why they keep putting them on the playoff bubble for the NFC, but I guess they're not what am I trying to say? They're not statistically eliminated. How about that? We'll just go with a different word. I can say that one. But we're pretty close. I think the writing's on the wall. I've made excuses. I've blamed certain things. Number one, I think Shanahan's just stretched too thin. Number two was I think they didn't really prepare in the offseason to preseason the way that the 49ers have done in the past. They're an older team, experienced team. They thought that they were going to get there on their skill, and I don't think that they were ready to get beat by the Rams in week 2. I think they thought that was almost like a gimme game. They had it in the bag. They didn't snap the neck in the second half. They went into the halftime with the lead, with a damn good lead. It felt like they were controlling that game, and they just came out a different team, and they let the Rams have the fourth quarter, and they let them have it enough that they won the game on the last drive with the ball. And we were trying to recover ever since. So, I don't know. I want my Niners to win. I want us to fight. I want to get to the offseason as fast as we can and try to get this under control. But I know there ain't nobody crying for me as a Niner fan. We've been good for a long time. We'll be good again. We will be good again. And until we can bring that 6th Super Bowl back home to Santa Clara / San Francisco, we'll keep fighting. Peace out.